welcome to Coffee with Kelley. Except for today we have water. I have been trying to really work on drinking water first before I go for my coffee. So if you have trouble getting your water in, try that. But today I just really wanted to connect with you really on a very personal level. I know a lot of you that follow me on social media know a lot of this, and maybe you don't, but lots of times you may be asked about things is, what is your why? So that's pretty much, why are you doing what you're doing? And that can relate to anything. It doesn't have to just be to your health journey or anything like that. It can be to a job, it could be to a side business you're doing, really anything. And when I first started my journey, my why wasn't the best. It was more so, I was looking for a specific number on the scale, or I was looking for a certain size to be. And now that I look back at that, I'm like, wow, I've grown so much. And you may be thinking like, yes, that's me right now, or yes, that was me a while ago, but I've learned. And that's just the beauty of anything in life, is we go through these trials and things and we learn along the way, and then we improve and better ourselves. And so now when people ask me, why are you a coach, or what is your why for your fitness journey? It's a lot to go with that. So as some of you know, my dad passed in 2020. He faced a lot of heart issues, and that kind of runs on my dad's side of the family. I think my mom's side of the family also has some heart issues. I know there's cancer and there's diabetes, and so there's like all these things that are possibilities, because some things are genetic and you can't really help it. But he passed in 2020, and when that happened, that really opened my eyes, because I'm like, I don't want to have heart issues. I don't want to be sick. I want to be healthy, and I want to be strong, and I want to, be the 80-year-old lady that can still take care of herself and get around and have a right mind and all these things. So that's kind of when my why started to shift, is when I lost my dad. It really opened my eyes to, I needed to get serious. I had really put on some weight, and as we know, weight is not healthy. And it can cause other issues like diabetes. It can cause heart problems. It can cause high blood pressure, all kinds of things. And so that's when I kind of really got serious about my fitness journey and my health journey. And even though that was a very devastating time in my life, it has grown me, not only in my journey, but it has grown me to becoming a coach myself, like in helping women where they're at, and helping them see that, it's never too late to get started. I want to say that to you. So if you're watching this and you're like, I'm too old, or it's, I've tried everything and nothing's working, it's never too late. And have you tried going back to the basics? And I say that because our world is filled with so much around the health and wellness industry of, different types of fad diets and quick fixes and things of that nature. And I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with those things. The problem with them is they're like a Band-Aid. And I've done quick fixes. I've done all the things trying to drop the weight fast, especially in the beginning before I really, educated myself and got serious about my journey. And those Band-Aids, when you stop doing, the keto or some kind of fad diet or, a magic pill or whatever it might be, the weight comes back. And 99% of the time, more weight than what you had originally comes back. And that's why I call it a Band-Aid. Because the problem is, we need to fix the foundation of your body. You need to listen to it. You need to create healthy and sustainable habits to then build off of. And yes, you can use these other things as tools. They're great. But we want to have the strong foundation, so if there comes a day where, whatever it is that you're doing or using as a tool, you can't use anymore, or it's just not sustainable, you're going to have that strong foundation and that weight's not going to come back. But losing my dad really got me serious. And then, some of you know, a couple years ago, has it been 2 years? I think it's been 2 years. It might be longer than that. It might be 3 years. I can't remember. 2 or 3 years. My Fitbit kept, showing my heart rate was going up, and then it was going really low, and I was like, what is going on? So I went to my primary care doctor, and they were like, they did an EKG, and they were like, yeah, you are experiencing some PVC episodes, which is where your heart has like an extra beat. And they were like, so we're gonna send you to a cardiologist. I was 36. Was I 36? Yeah, 36 years old. And they're telling me they're sending me to a cardiologist. Like, if that's not an eye-opener, I don't know what is. And of course, I go to the cardiologist's office, and there's older people in there, and they're kind of looking at me like, are you in the right place? And I just felt out of place in there. But I needed to get checked out. And we know our body's best. Like, listen to your body. And sometimes doctors might try to give you medication or stuff like that to kind of Band-Aid it, if you know your body. So if you need a second opinion, go for it. But long story short, did the cardiologist, they ran all of the tests on me, came to the same conclusion. I was having PVCs. I had to wear the heart monitor for a week, see what happened. I had over 9,000 PVC episodes, and they were like, this is not normal. But they were like, you're young, so we'll just monitor it. Well, then it was like the episodes were happening more often, and I was like, so I went back. Then they started me on a beta blocker to try to help minimize them. That worked for a little bit, but like I said, it was a Band-Aid. And one day I was in the car line waiting for my daughter. Thank goodness I had the car in park, and I passed out. I was talking to my coach on an app that we use, and I passed out talking to her. And thankfully I wasn't out too long, and I came to, and thankfully I was able to, get my daughter and drive home safely. And as soon as I got home, I called my husband, and I'm like, you need to leave and you need to come home because I need to go to the hospital. Something's wrong. So he took me to the hospital. Of course, they ran all the tests that, my cardiologist ran. And I was hooked up to these machines, and they kept beeping and beeping and beeping because it kept saying like I was in AFib, and then it was like her heart is in the 200s. And I kid you not, all the doctors that passed my room or were coming in, they were like, are you okay? Are you feeling okay? And I was like, yeah, I feel all right. And they were like, you should not be alive. They were like, your heart is like 218. And I'm like, I don't know. And then it would drop and it would bounce back up. Like, it was like a ping pong ball, just bouncing all around. And it took them forever. I think I was in the emergency department. Oh man, it was at least 12 hours. And they were like, we're gonna admit you. And then they took me up to ICU because how erratic my heart was. And I'm like, okay, you know, I'm praying and like, please, Lord, you brought me back from passing out. Please, like, fix this. And that really opened my eyes, because I'm like, okay, you know, I lost my dad. I was starting to get serious, and I was considering myself pretty healthy when all this was happening. So just because you feel pretty healthy does not mean that you are not gonna face something health-wise. So don't think, oh yes, I'm really healthy, so I don't need to worry about this, because I was pretty healthy and this happened. So they finally gave me this medication through my IV, and it stopped. The PVC stopped. And I'm like, okay. So they hooked me up to like a drip of it and just kind of really closely monitored me in the ICU. I think I was there for a couple of days. And then their cardiologist team came in, and a specialist that works with like the electrical system in your heart. And he was like, we need to do an ablation to fix the issue. He was like, but for right now, you know, we're gonna send you home with an oral medication that mimicked what was coming through the IV, and we will monitor you with that. And then they implanted the little under the skin heart monitor thing, so I didn't always have to have that walking around with that. And that really, really opened my eyes. But you know, I'm here, and that, all the glory of that goes to God, because he's the only one that can heal me. You guys, ever since I had the ablation in April of, when did I have it? 2025. So it's been a little over a year since I've had the ablation. I've had 0 PVCs. The Lord guided these doctors, and he helped them fix my heart. And that's why I'm here today talking to you. It's because of him. So that's my why, is because I lost my dad to these medical issues. I started becoming healthy, but yet I still faced a heart scare. And now I'm like, I want to be as healthy as possible. I want to be strong, and I want to be here for grandchildren and my daughter and all that. And like I said, I want to be the 90-year-old lady that still takes care of herself and drives around and is in her right mind and all of these things. So I share all this with you because I know we all face things in different aspects of life. And I just want you to know, don't allow those things to hold you back or keep you from going forward in what it is you were working towards. So, you know, losing my dad has brought me into bettering my health, but now also helping women better theirs. Like, how cool is that? So that's a little piece of my story that I wanted to share with you guys. But I just encourage you to show up for you. And if your body is telling you something's wrong, please go get checked out. I know we don't always like doctors, but just go get checked out. And you know, I'm always here. If you have questions, I have a free coaching community on Facebook, and I have a little channel in Instagram. So no matter which platform you're on, I have that. Subscribe to my YouTube. I'm going to be starting to share more trainings here, and then you can always catch the Coffee with Kelley's there. And but yeah, come join us in the free community. There's no strings attached, so don't feel like I can't come there because she's going to bombard me. I don't bombard anybody. I want you to be ready to work on you. So this free community is where I can give you advice and tips and tricks and all these things and pour into you, but it's your choice to take that further. I don't ever pressure anybody. I want you to be ready to move forward and say, okay, I need more than just the free community. So come and join us. We are getting ready to go into July, and I've got a really fun theme planned that is really getting back to the roots of things. So come and join us. But thank you for joining me for today's Coffee with Kelley, or Water with Kelley. But I hope you guys have a great week, and always remember that you're important and that you can do anything that you set your mind to.